Need a great idea for a gift for a loved one this year? I have the answer. Today we're taking a Dollar Tree find, some acrylic pouring paints, a cool cup, and turning it into a unique gift that won't break the bank. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another video. So, I have a fun project for you today that's really simple to do. It will be a statement piece when it's done, and it will definitely make either a great gift to give at the holidays or just another unique thing that you can sell if you do something like sell at craft fairs. So here's what I have. My good friend Amy sent me a couple of picture frames. She has challenged me to do something with these frames, and I'm going to show you something magnificent. Now, she sent the two smaller ones. This bigger one here, I just want to let you know, I got at the Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree. It's a beautiful frame. Wait till you see what I do with it. The only type of preparation I have done so far is I've taped off the back and stuck little cups on the corners to help me prop it up. But just tape on the back. I have done nothing to the wood on these frames. They're just how they came from the store. No primer, no nothing like that. No sanding, anything. Now, how you choose to design these are totally up to you. It's going to be a unique idea, and people love unique. I'm going to go with acrylic pouring, but I'm going to tell you, you could do mixed media art. You can do resin art. You can do all types of stencils, whatever will make you happy, whatever you like to do. For me, I'm going good old acrylic pouring with a beautiful resin finish. We're going to have a very classy frame. So let me get set up. I'll show you how my paints are mixed, or I should say thinned down, and then we'll get started. Now, you don't have to go through all of the thinning down of acrylic paints. You can just buy something like a pre-mixed pouring paint from Michael's, Hobby Lobby. I believe even Joann's sells pre-mixed pouring paints. A lot of places do now. So you can just buy these, give them a good shake in the bottle, and then pour them onto your frame, or add a bunch of different colors to the cup and dump them on top of the frame. But for me personally, I like to thin down my own colors, and I'm going to be using a product called American Floetrol to do that today. What you do is basically this. However much paint you put in your cup, you add 3 times the amount of Floetrol to the cup with it. So, for example, now I've been doing this for a while, so I don't measure. I kind of just eyeball it. It's very important not to get hung up on measurements. They really don't matter. It's the water part and the consistency and looking for the right flow of the paint after you've added these products in. But for me to make a big cup, or this cup here, I think is 6 ounces of silver, I'll squirt the paint in the cup until it's covered, the bottom, okay? And you can see there's, it's not even that deep. It's because I'm moving it in the cup. If I had to guesstimate, I would say there's 3 tablespoons of paint. I go by height in the cup. So if the paint is here, when I go to add my Floetrol, I want to take these 1, 2, 3, so I can fill it all the way up with Floetrol, if that makes sense. If you were to measure, and let's say this is 3 tablespoons of paint, you would want to put in 3 times that amount, so 9 tablespoons of Floetrol. Okay, so I'm going to add the Floetrol in now. So I've added the 3 times the amount of Floetrol into the cup and mixed it together, and this is what you're left with. Now, this is the perfect consistency right here for what I'm looking for. See how it leaves trace on the surface? Like you can see me here try to make a heart. See how you can see that on the surface? That's called trace. So you want your paint to leave trace on the surface, and when you hold it still like this, you want it to create a fluffy little mound at the end of the stream like it's doing right here. For this color, I did not need to add any water once I added in the Floetrol, but depending on what color you choose, some colors are thicker than other colors. The color itself is more dense. So depending on the brand and the color you're using, you may have to add water after you've added your Floetrol to your paint if it doesn't look like this. And what you want to do, if you do want to have to add water, you want to add it very slow, like 5 drops at a time, until it reaches this consistency. Okay? So this is how all the paints are mixed, and we're going to have some fun here today because I have something new I want to try. So a while ago, I ordered this cup and I forgot all about it. So what I want to do is I want to layer the paints a particular way in here, which I will show you, and then depending on the effects I get when I pour it out, if I'm not happy, I'm going to use the blow dryer. If I am happy, I'm going to leave it alone. But let's see what we get with this cup, okay? So there are 5 slots here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a color down in each slot and then put some black in between, okay? So I'll probably do a layer of black first in each slot, then do a few layers of colors, sandwich some more black in the center before I get to the top of the cup. So here we go. So there's no rhyme or reason as to the way I'm layering these paints. If you're just going to use a regular cup, layer them however you want to. Again, the paints are mixed or thinned down with American Floetrol, and that's it. The brand of paints I'm using today are Amsterdam acrylic paints. Any brand will work. Really quickly, while I have a moment, I would like to let my subscribers know that I am going to be doing a Secret Santa giveaway. That's coming up in the next week or two, so make sure you're subscribed. One other note is that this surface that I'm propping the frames up on is actually a large silicone mat. I'm going to be saving the paint that drips off of the frames and turning them into paint skins that we can later use to create a piece of art. And I know how you guys love those projects, so we're going to do something fun with those in the next coming weeks. I know people do not like to waste product, and saving your paint skins or turning your paint drip off into paint skins, which I will be showing you how to do, is a great way to utilize your leftover paints. Okay, this cup is about a halfway full, and I think that's plenty. Let's get started. So first I'm going to pour the paint out, and while I'm pouring, I'm going to move my hand in a circular motion. I just want to see what kind of design it comes up with, and then if I don't like it, I will work on it further. So I did like the design it was creating, but it didn't give me the amount of black that I wanted. There was too much blue. It was going to be too bright. I'm looking for a more classy look, more black with just a pop of blue, not a blue with a pop of black frame. So what I did was I continued to pour it out, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to add in some black, more black, a little more silver, and then take it from there. The cup worked great, though. I liked it. This is kind of a pretty design up here. It's got like swirl, break, swirl, break, swirl, break. So what I decided to do was take some black and outline, or inline, is it outline or inline, that inner edge, so that when I came back in with my blow dryer, I could blow the black over the blue and calm that blue down a little bit. When I make something like a frame, especially when I sell them at the craft fairs, I like to make them in palettes that aren't bright and bold, because a lot of times the pictures that people are putting in them are bright, bold. So I want just a classy looking frame with a little pop of color. So I put my black and my silver down. Now I'm going to take my blow dryer And I'm going to blow the black over the blue, and you're going to see it changes the entire look of the piece. When using a blow dryer to blow paint like this, you're not taking the blow dryer and blowing straight down into the paint per se. So I put this thin line of black, as you can see. And what I'm doing is I'm angling the air so that it hits the black area and pushes it over the blue paint. You can see it a little bit better from this angle. So I'm grabbing that black right on the edge and pushing it over the puddle of color that's already there. And you'll see what happens is it creates beautiful cells and lacing. You can see them starting to pop up now here. Also, in the beginning of the video, I had shown you 3 frames. I decided only to do 2 because that really, really small one had like these ridges carved in it. So if you're planning on doing this, try to pick frames that are flat on the surface. No kind of engraved or anything like that. The second frame it does have wood sides on it that are like bumpy. That's fine. If there's texture on the side of the frame, it's not a big deal. I'm talking about the surface area on the top, like where I'm blowing right now. You want that area to be flat. So now I'm going to just zip through this. It's the same thing around all 4 sides. I don't want to bore you. Plus, we have another one to make, and I'm sure you got the gist of it by now. So I'll finish this up. I'll give you an important tip about the inside area of the frame, and then we'll move on to the next. Okay, so see this inside lid here? You want to make sure that you coat that, and if the frame has any kind of sealant on it, see what it's doing there for me? It's like selling up, it's lacing. You're going to have to go ahead and just let it dry, and then with a paintbrush and some black paint, just paint in that area. It's not going to coat if it has any kind of a varnish in there on the inside for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, so I'm happy with this one. I'm going to let it dry for now. Like I said, I'll come back and paint those insides once this is all dry. But see how when I first poured it out, it was more blue with little black and silver swirls in it. I like this better. It's more classy looking, okay? Well, for me, I think it is anyway. But we got some nice cells and lacing in there. And here's something really weird. After this sat for about an hour, I ran my finger again on that inside area, and it coated for me. So I don't know if it was because the paint was thicker by then or not, but it worked. So let's move on to frame number 2. All right, so for this one, I'm plopping it right in the center of the other one because I want to collect the paint drips all in the same area so that I can save the paint skin. So I just plopped it right here on top of 4 cups. And for this one, I think I'm just going to put little puddles. We'll see how that goes. Little puddles of color. We'll start off with some black. Go all around the frame. All right, just like that. We'll come in with some silver. We're going to put the puddles down and blow them around and see what we get. Hey, this would be pretty too, to take a frame and just do some 3D paint blobs on it. Would be really fun. Or just let it dry like that. That would be a lot of fun. If you think about it, the possibilities are endless, really. I mean, you can do so many things with these frames and just make a really unique gift for a loved one. So now I'm literally just using the air and blending them all together. And I'll tell you right now, this one I loved the most. See that wood grain on the side, how it's all bumpy and textury? Is that even a word? um, I just let it drip over there. I made sure it was covered good. And I'm really excited for you to see this one. It came out the best. If you're someone that likes to sell at the holiday craft shows, I highly recommend you make a few of these and give them a shot. They're a unique item to sell. And as far as pricing, that's up to you. And speaking of, I always get people that say, well, you say you sell your stuff for this much. I can't get that much in my area. Nobody will pay for it. Unfortunately, that's how it goes. I mean, it all depends on where you live. If people know about you in your area, there's a lot of things that factor into it. So don't get discouraged. Give it a shot. But hey, check out this beauty, huh? That green is a stunner. So here's what we're going to do. I keep talking about paint drips and paint skins. Here are my leftover paints from today and the ones that dripped on my silicone mat while I was doing my picture frames. This is kind of just a little sneak peek at an upcoming video and where I'm going to show you how to make these paint skins and turn them into art. So what I'm doing here is I'm just quickly tossing on all of my leftover paints from today, again, along with those paint drips that I had. I'm taking some black acrylic paint, I'm spreading it onto the back of a palette knife, and I'm just going to apply even pressure as if I'm frosting a cake, and I'm going to glide it right over the surface of that puddle of paint that I just poured down. And we're going to make some beautiful skins for an upcoming video. Now, on a silicone mat like this, it's going to take these about 5 days to dry, depending on where you live. If you're somewhere really, really cold, it could take longer. But I wanted to give you a little sneak peek at this upcoming video, so maybe you can make your paint skins ahead of time and be ready for when that comes out. Okay, so both of the frames are dry and they dried perfectly. You could see I painted the inside just with some black paint. That area you're seeing underneath that looks like wood is not. That's actually tape. But anyway, dried really, really well. And now I'm going to show you the second one. Here's the second one. Came out really, really pretty. And I'm going to put some resin on these. You're going to see how much the color comes back in the shimmer. Now, on the side of the smaller one, I don't know if you remember, I said there was some fake wood grain. So I actually poured over that as well. And I'm going to do one final thing to that side before I put on the resin. So let me show you that. I'm just going to take some of my silver paint and put a little bit on the tip of my finger. Just like this, just a little bit. And I'm going to lightly brush it over the raised edges just to get a little bit of highlights on that fake wood. See, it's like bringing it out a little bit more. You don't want to put a lot. You don't want to cover it. You just want to highlight the raised areas so it gives it some depth. Important note, when you go to apply the resin, especially to a frame, you want to make sure the back is taped off, obviously. Okay, see I have these taped off in the back. But more importantly, you want to make sure that you want to try not to get resin in this inner lip, because when you go to put your piece of glass back in and the picture and the backing and all that, you don't want anything interfering with that. You don't want a big resin drip there so that the glass won't push in all the way. So what I do is I put it on with a brush for frames. I'll just paint it on a nice thin layer on the surface here. I'm going to show you this, obviously. Paint it on a thin layer on the side and the top. And then if any resin gets here, just use your finger to smooth it out and check back on it for the next like 2 hours. Make sure no drips getting in there. If it does, again, come back with your gloved finger and just smooth it out so that it's not an actual drip that's on the inside of this. If it's shiny from the resin, that's fine. You just don't want drips on this inner part. Okay, with sponge brush in hand and my mixed up KS Liquid Art Ultra UV resin, I dip the brush into the resin and paint it on the surface and the sides. This resin is a 2-part resin. You mix equal parts of each bottle that come in the kit for 3 minutes, making sure to scrape down the sides and the bottom and the stick off during that 3-minute process multiple times. Once it's all mixed up, just brush it on as you see me doing here, a nice thin coat. And what it's going to do is just leave a nice glossy finish on your frame for you. When it comes to the sides that have texture in them, be sure to always go over those areas multiple times to get it into all the grooves. And then you want to take your finger and make sure that you wipe that inside ledge off multiple times during the first hour to make sure no drips get in there, because if you get drips in there, your piece of glass is not going to sit properly. So just keep an eye that no drips get on the inside, and be sure to use some sort of heat to pop the bubbles, whether it be a torch like this or a heat gun. So here we go, my friends, the finished results. Oh my goodness, these came out so beautiful. I don't know if you're going to be able to see just how shimmery they are. Hold on. All right, look at this. Look at that. Beautiful shimmer. This is absolutely gorgeous. Wait till you see the next one, the color palette. Look at this guy. Look at that beautiful green. Wow. And the silver. So pretty. Now imagine you have a child and you want to give your mom a picture for Christmas. Make something beautiful like this and put the photo in there. They would absolutely, I know myself as a mother, I would absolutely love this. Sides are really pretty too with that little bit of silver. I'll show them to you inside too because it's really bright. I just like to come outside so you could see the natural daylight effects. It's really, really pretty. So my friend, that concludes today's tutorial. I hope you find some inspiration in this video and it leads you down to the Dollar Tree, which then leads you to making some of these beautiful frames. In the description of this video, you will find the name of the colors that I used, the product links for those that I have, discounts for some of the products that I use, ways to follow me, and any other important information I have to share. And don't forget, again, Secret Santa is coming to this channel, and one lucky viewer is going to win something nice. So make sure you are subscribed and you have that notification bell clicked on the word all. Let's take a look at that second frame right now. Look at this edge, how cool that looks. That little bit of silver paint really made that edge pop, all that texture. And it just really, really came out pretty, especially when you see the flash come on, this green color. Mamma mia, it's gorgeous. So, my friends, I want to thank you for joining me. I love you all. And until the next time, which is next Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, happy pouring.